Hey, this is René, and in this video we will finally find out if it is a good idea to trade the range breakout expert advisor during non-farm payrolls and CPI heavy news days.
This video is presented by BM Trading. Learn to code your own expert advisors. Link in the description.
To start off, I can show you here, this is my normal backtest, or the backtest that I currently, or with the settings that I currently use in USD Japanese yen, or the settings that I use in one of my accounts from 2015 to the end of 2024, using every tick based on real tick on the Dukascopy data. So this is generating the 100% result here with a very good profit factor. And the performance here is very good, actually, from like 10K to around 150,000. Theoretically, of course, because this is a backtest, guys, I know. And this was generated, of course, also because there's a percentage based volume calculation. So we have the interest rate like stacking up and the compounding effect and everything. But yeah, overall the performance is very good. So these are settings that I use in one of my accounts. So now let's do one very cool thing. So if we go here to the settings, you can see I will now only test the current here. I will go to the visual mode and I will change the inputs, but I will just change one parameter, because this test that we saw here, this was done like normally, how I traded right now, without a news filter. And now in the inputs, I say, is news filter should be true, because this is a new input parameter that I added, especially for this video and for this test, because I want to figure out if it is actually a good idea to trade during news events. Because now you can see this is just to show you how the EA works now. It's pretty much doing the exact same thing. So if there's a trading day, we just trade this day, right? So here, just a normal day. We create the range, we place the buy stop, the sell stop order, everything is completely normal. So there was nothing new until this day. So here you can see I fast forwarded to the 4th of January. Everything's normal. There was a trade on every day. Not all of them were profitable, but most of them. And now we get to the 5th January of 2024. This is the first Friday in the month. So every first Friday in the month, there's the non-farm payrolls news event, which is, I think, together with the CPI news event lately, the most important news event. And here we can see on this very day, we do not see a single order. And if we wait a couple more seconds until we see the time at around, I think 15 o'clock, which is like 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., we will also see that here we can see there's this vertical line displayed in the chart, and this is exactly the non-farm payrolls event. As I said, this is always the first Friday in the month, and as I think the second week on Wednesday or something is this CPI news event. And then on all of these days, the expert advisor will now not take a trade, and this is exactly what the news filter is. And you can see here, like, just see this crazy move, of course, and this is the chance that you have with news events. There can be very good, crazy, profitable moves, but also there can be very big losses. And the losses can be especially huge because you can have a crazy amount of slippage on these days. So what I want to do now is I will end this visualize test. I will go back to the original settings here, like disable the visual mode, go to 2015 to 2024, and I will keep this here on. So the news filter will be active when I start this new test now. And here we will now see the difference, because this is the test now with the news filter. So we do not trade on non-farm payrolls days, and we do not trade on CPI news event trades. And then we will make the final comparison, what is actually better in the long run. Okay, so that's it. Test is over. And what I prepared here is the previous test. So this here in the picture that I created is the test with the news days traded. So here in this test, all of the non-farm payrolls days and all of the CPI trades were traded, and we can see the balance and equity graph down here and the key figures up here. So now we can make a very beautiful comparison, and just by looking at the graph, we can see that the test with the news days was actually a lot better, I would say. So let's have a look at the key figures here. Here we can see with the news days traded, we had a total amount of trades of 2,557. And here, without the news days, we had 2,320. So 200 trades less, which is in a period of roughly 10 years, like 20 trades per year, which kind of makes sense. So it's pretty much, it kind of makes sense, I think. So we did trade less, of course, this makes sense, but also the profit factor is less, 0.01 less when we did not trade the news days. Also here the total net profit, if we did not trade the news trades, was 116,000. And here, when we traded the news days, it was 134,000. There's one very big variable that, of course, is not really taken care of in this backtest. And this is the huge problem when it comes to news in the strategy tester. Because in the strategy tester, the result on news days is usually better. Because during news days, the main problem is, of course, slippage. And if you have slippage, the performance of your trades will be worse. So the real question is not if the test is better with or without news. The news is actually how strong will the slippage affect the testing results. And this is unfortunately something that I cannot really answer in this video. So the big problem is, yes, we figured out that trading the news days is better. But this statement is only true if the slippage is in a specific range. Because we do make 20,000 euro more profit when we trade the news days. This is what the comparison showed here. It's around 20,000 more in profit, which is actually a huge number. It's around 15% on the actual profit, I would say, a little bit more. But the problem is if slippage is too high, or the question is how much of these 20K would be taken away from the slippage. And this is something I cannot answer here, of course. This is something we would have to figure out observing the live trades. I can just speak from my personal experience. For the last years, I always traded during news days. And from my personal experience, I would say, yes, I had huge negative days on the news days, but I also had very huge profitable trades. So for me, after this video, I will still keep trading the news days because I think overall they provide just a very huge chance to actually make a lot of profit. And yeah, this is just my summary, my conclusion. Yours could be different. Let me know in the comments what you think about this comparison. Was this interesting to you? Do you think I could have done something to make this test more realistic? And I will be glad to read your comment. Would love to hear your opinion on this. Hope you like this comparison, and let me know what you think. I'm out. Have a great time. Good trades. Bye.